Hello friends, welcome back to 9 Little Aussies. I'm out here with the meat chickens. This is their last night. So tomorrow morning we have, if you can see the trailer, there's a backed up to the fence, and early tomorrow morning we'll be loading them up and taking them up to the processor. We usually do this ourselves. We were going to do this ourselves. We've had a few life circumstances get in the way, so we're going to load them up tomorrow. So we did lose a few in the really hot days. So we have been using the Joel Salatin chicken tractor design, which but as you can see, we've kind of adapted it. And what happened was, in the really heavy rain that we had, along with really intense heat, the birds could not get out of the wet. So we've actually taken the sides off this and jacked it up a bit on one end, as you can see there. Jacked it up so they can get in and out of there with more ease. And so I guess we're now using more of a Justin Road style. So they've got shelter, and we put the tarp out there for extra shade. We have put them under this big oak tree. They just needed extra, if you get the fence sketcher. They needed extra protection from the sun, the heat, and it's been dry for about a week now, but prior to that they needed more shelter from the rain and the ability to get out of the mud. So this has been working well. They've just been able to free range and roam, get into the shelter when they need and get out. So we still really like the Joel Salatin tractor, but I think in this season, at least, in the middle of a really hot, wet summer in Texas, we had to make a few adjustments to it. So as I said on another video, I think having gone through this experience, now we did bite off a fair bit. We started with 107 birds, and we have lost a few with the heat and the rain. We're going to get a final count in the morning. We're going to do a road trip. So my 14-year-old son and I are going to load them up. Let me see if you can see. It's kind of behind the trees. Yeah, you probably can't see really good, but we've got the horse float. So, interesting fun fact. We have discovered that you don't call them horse floats here. We would call that a horse float, but here they call them horse trailers. So, just one of those little terminology differences between countries. So we are going to load them up in that and take them. It's a 3 hour and 15 minute, according to maps, drive there. We drop them off. We're leaving, got to be up at 4, and we're going to try and be out of here by 5. Drive them up, drop them off, and then wait around to pick them up again, because with that big of a distance and that much petrol, I don't want to have to go back on another day to get them. So the situation was, we were going to butcher these ourselves, and we haven't ever done this many, but we've butchered birds several times before. But my husband has just taken on an extra job. He's doing 13-hour days, and he's not here very much. My eldest son works, and even the second eldest has a job as well. And we're like, when are we going to do this? And we could have pushed through and kind of just made it happen. We also needed to buy a few more setup things. And I just actually said to my husband a couple of weeks ago, I said, listen, there is so much pressure on us right now, and I just don't know if this is a mountain we want to climb in this season, this summer. Maybe this is just one of those things we need to give up and say, this might not be our ultimate goal, but in this season, this is what we can manage. So we've chosen to do that, and we have we're taking them to Windy Meadows Farm Processing Centre, which has come highly recommended. So I know they seem lovely on the phone, so we'll see how that goes. They're such ungainly, funny looking critters. Like they're just awkwardly big. Having raised these 100 birds, I can understand why Justin Rhodes calls them dinosaurs. They're just weird. They're so... All right, we shall let them go for the evening and be back here before the sun rises. It is 4:30 in the morning. The boys have gone down to load, and I'm just grabbed the coffee and we're going down. What you're up to?
36.
Okay, we're on the road. On the road. The birdies are in the back. I have my trusty companion, my sidekick. You're going to show your face, sidekick. And the sun is thinking about coming up. It's not up yet. What, a couple of hours to 2.5 hours to go, something like that. On our way north, I think, northwest. A couple of hours to go still, and the sun is just about thinking about coming up. So I'm hoping we get to see a good sunrise, and I'm hoping the birdies are traveling all right back there. I haven't done this before, so it's all new. So we just pulled over for a quick loo break, and I don't know if you can see, got the coolers in the back. We're all loaded up. The sun is up. First cup of coffee's down, and we have our audio book on, so we're traveling okay.
Catch a fish. One fish would set me upon my way. I was going to make traps and catch game. I looked into the stream to see what else I could eat. At that steep mountain, and saying to myself, it must be Sunday afternoon, and it's raining, and Dad is trying to keep us all quiet by telling us about great-grandfather's farm, and he's telling it so real that I can see it.
For about 27 miles, continue straight on. In 900 feet, turn left.
chickens are at the processor, and we're just cleaning out the pen. We've gone into town. Greenville's the nearest town. So we'll clean it up, see if we can find ourselves a cafe to wait it out. There is just nothing like the smell of chicken. Like dirty old meat chips, they're so stinky. Give me the smell of cow any day. Getting a car wash while we're at it. Don't see many of these here in America, the self-wash ones where you put the coins in. Well, we haven't seen many. We actually just drove around to, like, all over Greenville to about 4 different places, and then a friend of ours who gets his chickens butchered here sent me the pin of where to find this one. So just a couple of bucks to clean it all out, instead of the other place we went to wanted $25 to hose out the trailer, and we said no thank you. So with the trailer all clean, we drove into town, and I actually just googled the best coffee in Greenville, and this place came up, so we thought we'd give it a try. It was pretty good too, and great service. We were really happy with the service we received at the Windy Meadows Farm, or Windy Meadows Processing, so highly recommend them. They're very helpful, very polite, very thorough, very competitive pricing compared to prices we got elsewhere. So we loaded everything up and headed back on the road. It was time to go home. Alrighty, we are couple of hours from home still. We've just stopped to pick up ice and check the load, and one of the Eskies coolers had come open, and so that wasn't good. So we've kind of strapped them down and we've put extra ice in on top, and so hopefully we'll be good. So me and my wingman over here, I'm so glad I bought him. He is so handy. This kid can do anything. So we picked a super hot day. I reckon, actually, did you check the temperature? I reckon it's over 100 degrees. No, it says 98 inside, but is that inside the car or outside? That's outside. Okay, so it's 98. It just feels hot. The aircon does work in the car, but it's not great. And I am sure it is super hot back there in the trailer. So just stopped off at this Brookshire Brothers for some ice, and we're going to get back on the road again. About halfway through our audiobook, enjoying that. Almost home. And it just occurred to me, I was just thinking, you know, we could have done things differently. My husband has been working 13-hour days, long hours, putting food on the table, paying the bills. And this is the way we did things today, with taking the meat chickens up to be processed, is not our ultimate goal, not our end goal. But sometimes you just can't do things perfectly and exactly how you want straight off. Sometimes you have to adjust, and you have to make sacrifices, and you have to take baby steps. And I guess this is one of those baby steps. We weren't quite ready to do all of this processing of these meat chickens ourselves, but it still feels pretty awesome to have left this morning with a trailer full of meat birds before the sun got up, and be about to rock up home with 3 big Eskies, or coolers as you guys call them, 3 big coolers full of meat for our freezer. So although it might not be exactly what we ultimately want to do, it's a pretty nice step along the way. Baby steps. We are almost there. We're about 10 minutes from home. I just stopped to get some petrol because we're nearly out, and we had to, Zach kind of jockey strapped this all together because these lids were popping. One of them popped right up and we're sitting up, so We've got more ice. We're nearly there. It's been a long day. It's nearly 7 o'clock, I think, and 4 a.m. was a long time ago. But I've just thought I'd quickly come on here and finish this off, because when we get home, I'm going to have lots of little kids needing me and wanting me, and I might not have a chance to finish it off. So it's been a good day, and I've just been reminded today how really glad I am that we're doing this as a family. You know, like when you're in the thick of parenting, you can have hard days, and honestly, like, there is a bunch of testosterone in our house with 6 boys and a little girl, and sometimes way more than my comfort zone would allow. But the reality is, like, I'm just so proud of the kids. Like, they were up at 4 o'clock this morning helping me load the trailer. My 16-year-old took care of all the little kids today. When I get home, I know dinner's going to be made and the kids are going to be settled. My 14-year-old came and helped with everything today, and he's so capable. They're so, you know, they're just, sometimes when they're not bumping chests like a little flock of bantam roosters, and if you've been around bantam roosters, you know what I'm talking about. Just trying to, yeah, prove themselves with each other. But when they're not doing that, they are solid, loyal, dependable, enjoyable people. And yeah, so, you know, life has been tough for a very long time for us, for lots of different reasons, and sometimes I feel bad about that, but honestly, in the fires of life is where we forge our character. And there are still hard days, but I'm so glad to be doing it with these, my favorite people. So anyway, that is our day. This chicken will be very soon in the freezer, which is wonderful to be going home with all this meat for our freezer. So thanks for hanging out with me today as we go on this little road trip. We shall see you on the next one. Sunshine and raindrops. Until then.